Sheet metal was my livelihood, but I never thought I'd be building gear like this. Every week, we turn tons of steel into rolling works of art. Some of the toughest gear in the world comes out of this factory. Building this gear is only half the fun. No one tests like we do. Yeah, dude. My passion has taken my family to the edges of the earth. Life's a game. We know how to play it. Patriot Games.
This time on Patriot Games, Justin, Sarah and the kids are travelling to Renmark to race the Riverland Dinghy Derby for the second time. It's time to gear up and prepare for all-out carnage on the Murray.
So this week we're off to Renmark's Dinghy Derby. We went last year, had an absolute blast, couldn't wait to get back.
I can't believe it's been 12 months, you know. We're back in Renmark. 12 months ago we set off down to the Dinghy Derby, had no idea what to expect. Seen it on YouTube, followed the Red Bull things and thought that'd be really cool to do one day. I didn't realise that I'd fall in love with this sport so much, Out of all the motorsports that I've done in my life, this is by far the cheapest form of motorsport. This is accessible to absolutely anyone. Anyone can do it with the smallest budget, but I've got to say this is the most fun that you can have with an engine.
The Riverland Dinghy Derby utilises over 100 kilometres of the Murray River around Renmark in South Australia. Teams face tight turns, shallow sections and a magnitude of obstacles, all for the glory of becoming one of the selected few to win this prestigious race. Held in the quaint town of Renmark since 1981, the Derby was started as a punt between friends to see who could race their Tinny the fastest. That was over 38 years ago. I wonder if they ever thought the race would get this big.
Heading back this year, it's a little bit different. The boys are still 12 months away from being able to run their own boat, so we're running the same boat, but we're stepping it up a notch. We're going to the 30 horsepower class.
Last year, the crew competed in the Dinghy Derby for the first time and were plagued by engine issues in the first event. With the help of some locals, their issues were solved in the nick of time, only hours before the main event.
After all the issues that we had last year, parts for the 25 are pretty hard to come by, and the 30 horsepower class is a lot more competitive. We ran really well last year. I wanted to just step it up because now with that setup, with the 30 horsepower motor, we can keep banging through the classes as we get better.
This year, Justin and Bobby will be taking on the 30 horsepower class. And with that comes top speeds in excess of 70 kilometres an hour. These tight and winding creeks have just become a lot more difficult to conquer. Before the crew can get into the water, they'll need to get on the blacktop and make the trip from Adelaide Airport to Renmark. Luckily, Justin's already teed up the hire vehicle. Or should we say, hire truck.
We flew straight into Adelaide, and the reason we went to Adelaide and not anywhere closer like Mildura, I've got my mates down there at Ram Truck, and of course, what else am I going to roll down to the Dinghy Derby? They've given me a sports appearance, completely murdered out, 1500 Express, and we're going to look the part rolling through the town. What do you think about whip?
Yeah, actually digging the black.
Black is bitchin'. I'm also digging the black.
Rocking up at Ram Trucks and seeing that pimped out black Ram, I've got to say I got so excited. Knew it was going to be a good week.
We made it.
Yep.
Adelaide.
Finally here.
Can you believe it's been a year since the Dinghy Derby last year?
It's felt like a couple of weeks.
Now tell me something. Drive or fly?
The drive was pretty fun.
The drive was fun last year in the Mega
very fun.
It's pretty unusual for us on one of these trips to not have our own gear. This is as long as I can remember, besides the recent trip out to Glamis, that we didn't have our own stuff with us. On the plane, Sarah and I were having a chat about all the things that we forgot. So we quickly looked up an Anaconda store. There's 3 in Adelaide, but we're driving straight past one. We headed in, grabbed all the gear we needed. There's a money limit here, okay? Yeah, this is not a free-for-all. Doesn't mean because we're going to pick up, we don't need any more camping gear.
Every time I have to hit the shops for something, I try and go alone. And there's a good reason for this. You take the family, it gets crazy.
Here we go, fishing gear. Let's pick a couple of rods first. We just want some little bait casters, yeah? Bare essentials, right? New fishing gear, new rods, new Corrado reels, and we also need the bits and pieces to go with it, yeah? I don't even really know where to start here, right?
Yeah, I think that we need some help.
Let's find someone. Yeah. Now, I wasn't going to miss the opportunity at Anaconda store to go a little bit overboard. A couple new rods and reels. We actually needed them. We need some for another trip that's coming up. So I thought while we're down here, we'll try and go for a Murray cod.
The drag on them is really nice and open, so you can sort of set it up to where you need to on the fly. It'll stop any barrier you want to throw at it.
Cool. All right, here she is, so quickly grab two of them.
What?
Nothing. Nothing.
Left the boys alone for 2 seconds in the fishing section and they went bananas.
All right, boys, down here, I saw these on the way. Check this out. I saw these the other week. It's gutting, scaling, like a fish tool. We'll get a pair of pliers, take them. So this will make a sick little kit for you guys back at home, yeah?
That's sweet.
Here, I reckon this is a good one.
Oh, yeah?
What do you reckon? Yep. What's going on, girls?
Hey, what have you brought?
Nothing, it's all cheap. This is like $1. That was on special for like $4. I think that was like 90 cents or something.
Crazy. So cheap.
Really, really cheap.
Awesome.
It's all
Great.
stuff we need, babe.
Life tax, are we just doing the twins or me too?
Oh, no, she's gonna need one. Extra large. Oh, medium adult in blue. It might be a bit big.
Yeah.
I don't think it's too bad, and then I can use it too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So sharing.
I think it's good.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
All right, you're done.
Ow.
Over there.
I got all the gear that I need. We've got to get to the checkout, and then I've got a big surprise.
With the crew geared up, it's time to get back on the road. The Dinghy Derby is calling. The drive from Adelaide to Renmark is just over 3 hours long, and the crew rolls into town in their new whip in no time.
Rolling into Renmark, seeing that big welcome to Renmark Dinghy Derby sign, it was on. The excitement hit the whole car. We couldn't wait to get in there, see all those lovely people again, and get in race mode.
Here we go, team. We're here. We're back.
Finally.
Dinghy Derby is on. You ready?
Nervous?
Rolling into Renmark, all those feelings started coming back in. But number one, excited, it's race weekend. That little surprise me and Mum were talking about?
Yeah.
I think it's just around the corner here. There it is. See that houseboat, Desire?
Yeah.
That's us for the week, crew. What do you reckon? Last year we made the call, if we were going to come back and race again, the only way to do it was going to be on a houseboat. And Sarah, she's hooked it up for the whole family. All right, you want to go check it out?
Yeah, please.
Let's go have a look. How good is this? Look at the size of this thing, man. We could probably play footy up there, I reckon.
This houseboat is awesome. Mum, you've outdone yourself.
Ooh, an aircon. Oh, this is cool. Getting down to the boat, seeing the kids run around, so excited, and seeing how big that thing was, and we can all fit on so comfortably. Really looking forward to this. This is awesome.
Now, I know we're probably not allowed to talk like this. Forget camping this weekend. This is where it's at, and babe, if the kids weren't here, hey, look what we got under here.
Ooh.
Now, it's pretty rare that we find somewhere that the whole family fits into, but this boat, it has got absolutely everything. You're talking like a 10-seat dining table. We've got a massive kitchen, big lounge area, 6 bedrooms, fully air-conditioned, 42 degrees down here. You've got to have air conditioning, massive deck out the back, and a hot tub on the roof.
Shotgun the Master Suite. This houseboat is epic. And if this couldn't get any better, one more surprise is rolling up now.
All right, surprise, number 3, look who's here, all the way from the Gold Coast, testing the brand new X1H.
Well, after last year's fiasco, well, not a fiasco, but the events that happened, no way I was going to miss it this year.
How are you?
Nice to see you.
Hello.
How we doing?
Now, Dad and Belinda weren't actually due to arrive in until the next day, but we actually told them that we got the big houseboat, and what do you know? They beelined it, made it from the Gold Coast into Renmark in 2 days to get on the boat with the kids. How'd the new baby go?
Looks good.
Oh, it's brilliant.
Yeah?
So easy.
It went good?
Goes exceptionally well.
Rob and Belinda are towing Patriot Camper's brand new product, the X1H, and it's really funny. The whole family gets involved in the R&D, obviously. If they get the opportunity to take a brand new product away, Dad's always the first one to take it. What do you reckon?
How good is that?
It's a little bit more comfortable than sleeping in the dirt like
Yeah,
last year.
dude, I don't know, the whole camper trailer thing, like, I love it, I enjoy it. But if you're down here on the Murray, like, why not?
While cruising up and seeing the houseboat, I knew there was going to be some pain with the racing, but the boat was going to make it fun as well.
Now the whole crew is here, it's time to get this houseboat into the open water for a cruise down the Murray. We'll leave it up to you, Captain Mia.
I really love on these trips being able to teach my kids something. If they take one thing away, they'll remember that forever. And teaching Mia how to spin a 60-foot houseboat on the Murray, I'm pretty sure she won't forget that one real soon.
Life doesn't get much better than this, and the whole crew are taking in this magnificent sunset. After a few hours of cruising down the Murray, it's time to dock and get some well-needed rest for a full day of testing the waters tomorrow.
After last year being down here, late nights, the boys working on that motor, I really hope with this beautiful boat, they'll have a bit of time to relax.
This adventure for us, it's a little bit different. We're on this massive houseboat. We're cruising up the Murray River. It's on sunset, tunes are pumping, whole family's excited. I'm definitely going to enjoy this afternoon because for the rest of the week, my mind's going to be focused on racing.
It's first light, and Justin and the twins are heading out on the water for a quiet morning fish before the chaos of the day begins. If they're lucky and patient, they might even catch a Murray River cod.
Last year, with all the engine dramas, it was all about racing. This year, I really wanted to spend a little bit more time on the Murray. Now, getting in the boat, sun's coming up, we're cruising down the river, got the boys with me, girls are still back at the houseboat, they're asleep. We're going to get a couple of hours in, just doing some stuff that me and the boys love to do.
It's a beautiful morning out here, but it doesn't look like the Murray cod are biting. Sorry, boys. They decide to make the most of their time out on the water and recce the track instead.
You remember this from last year, guys?
Oh, yeah.
This is where me and Bobby had the big crash. 60k an hour we come through that last year. And when we were testing, remember me and Bobby had that massive crash up here?
Yep.
Cruising up the river, it's all starting to come back into my memory. We're getting into some of the creeks that me and Bobby raced through. Now, obviously at this pace, the rivers look completely different, but I've got to be honest, I'm starting to get a little bit nervous. We've got another 10 kilometres an hour, and this track, it looks a lot tighter than I remember from last year.
Like muscle memory, it's all coming back to them now. With the track now fresh in their minds, it's time to go pick up that new race boat.
Plan for today was go and catch up with Paul. I've been talking to him flat out for a year about the modifications, what we need to do. He's got the new 30 horsepower on the boat, and we get to see the race boat today for the first time with the 30 mounted. Pumped, super excited.
In the last 12 months, me and Justin have been in contact quite a bit, become good mates, and now we'll be looking after all of his race stuff from now on.
All right, mate, let's have a look.
I'll put the galley on.
Give me a look, give me a look. Roll up to Alltech. There's Paul standing at the front, that big cheeky grin on his face. He's got the boat undercover. I don't know what he's got as the surprise for us, but I'm really excited to be here again. We've got a finishing touch for it, mate.
There we go.
Ta-da!
How was the old Emma than you? Look at that.
It's been really handy for us having Paul down here in Renmark. It's just going to make racing for us so much easier. You know, it's a big trip from Queensland for us to come down here. Now with the boat down here, someone we can rely on. We can come down here and hopefully do a few more races throughout the year. Hell yeah.
Look at that.
So how's it running? How's it going?
She is absolutely purling. This thing has never been raced. We've set this thing up to absolutely fly.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So for this year, we've gone up to the 30 horsepower class. Now, after all the dramas we had with the 25 last year, I'll be honest, the main reason we gone to the 30 class is there's a lot more parts available. There's a lot more people in that class. It's definitely a lot more competitive as well, which is pretty cool. Obviously, I like the competition. So that's the reason we've gone up to the 30 class, and Paul's been setting up that 30 horsepower motor for me.
We've set it up for a quick dash.
Yep.
So we've only set you up to get to the other end, turn around and get back. That's all we've set you up for. 30 horsepower is going to be a little bit faster to control, but it should feel relatively the same, and it should be able to get up on plane a bit quicker through the creeks. If you drop off, you should be able to jump up and keep going. So
They've got the crew, they've got the race rig. Now the real fun can begin. It's time to get this tinny on the water.
This brings back some memories.
Oh, yeah. Isn't it?
Huh? This brings back a few
Spent a bit
memories.
of time sitting on that little bank there.
Yep. All right, let's get the puppy in the water. Okay, so today is all about testing. It's about getting used to the feel of the boat. We're not even going to run helmets today. We're just going to cruise through. But the best thing that Paul's done for us so far is given us Anthony, who's one of his mechanics, and Anthony's raced the Dinghy Derby 9 times. So we're going to spend the day with him, just getting used to the creeks, trying to find out where all the snags are, and refreshing our memories from what we learnt last year. We've got a lot to take in if we're going to have a chance of getting anywhere near competitive in this race. Right, Bobby, you ready? Yep. It sounds angry, this thing, eh? Sounds like it's got a cam in it. Can you have a cam in the two-stroke? Is that your trick? Good? Yep.
I didn't know that we were going to run into the 30 class until I actually got down here. I mean, we did all right last year, but now we're stepping up to something a little bit harder.
So we just gave the boat a really quick hit, and instantly this thing, that extra cylinder, that extra 5 horsepower, probably doesn't sound like a lot, but mate, completely different beast. This thing does actually jump out of the water. It's trying to turn that prop real hard. You can feel the cavitation. This is going to take some time to get used to this thing.
Testing is off to a good start, with Anthony showing Justin and Bobby just how different their new 30 horsepower motor is. With testing well underway, I think it's time to get the whole family off the sidelines and into the water.
We're moving, boys.
All right, listen, Punk.
Yep.
We're going to take your mum, and we're going to take Nono out. Hey, are you going to come with us?
Yeah.
Do you want to come with Mum?
Yeah.
And you can watch us run around? You two
Yep.
are in charge of the boat,
Okay.
and listen to Belinda. Today's it. This is the opportunity. Last year, I wanted so much to get my wife in the boat. I wanted so much to get my old man in the boat. I want him to see what Carnage Corner is all about. I want him to see what those structures are like, how things just jump at you like they want to eat you.
Well, this afternoon's plan was to go and see the boys practicing, and having Sarah and Mia in the boat and seeing it up close and personal, it's a whole new experience.
All right, so this one here, this is Plumbers. So we come out of Carnage around that river that we just come up.
Yep.
This one here is easy, eh?
Yeah, this one's
It's only
fine.
just that one gnarly left-hander. But then once we get right down the bottom, you'll see where everybody normally camps out. You'll see there's like this massive hairpin turn.
Yeah.
But we nailed that every time last year, didn't we?
My name's Anthony Lincoln. Everyone calls me Skinny. I've been involved with the Dinghy Club for 9 years. To understand the track is probably the main thing. If you stuff up, you're either going to end up really hurt, or it could cost you the race. You could turn left instead of right. It could cost you the race.
Going through those creeks, I had no idea how shallow it was, how tight it was, and the obstacles that were everywhere. I've got no idea how they do this.
All right, guys, we're coming through. You ready?
Give it hell, Bill.
Give it hell, Bill. I really feel like it's all coming back to me now. You know, I'm seeing some of the logs, I'm seeing a little bit of the structure. The places we went wrong last year are starting to all come back into memory, and I just feel like everything's starting to gel.
Actually watching where you go and stuff, that's awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's the easy one. That's the easiest creek out of the lot.
Being out there and seeing the boys ripping around those turns, I feel like they're really confident and in for a good chance.
It is nervous, these branches.
I know.
These branches hanging out, they're the nervous part for me.
Yeah, there's no chance.
That hole's getting smaller, right? Yeah.
That's incredible.
Oh, goosebumps. I need to go back. I can't handle this.
Well, it's certainly a lot more dangerous than I actually thought. You see it on TV, it doesn't seem as dangerous as in real life. All the logs and branches and trees hanging down.
All right, Sarah, looks like you're up. You can only see so much from the bank of the river.
Where is she? Is she up behind that log? When we pulled up on Anthony, there on the sweet boat, Sarah knew it was her turn. And where's she gone? She's hiding. All right, you ready?
No. So Justin called it and got me to get in the boat. Did I want to? I've got to say no, but I do really trust him and I knew I'd be safe.
Here's the drum. Just listen to me. That's it. That's all you need to do.
Okay.
Yeah? Hold on with both hands. You know what? Just this whole run, you just stay there.
Yep.
All right? Then you don't need to.
So I'm not doing these ones and these ones?
No, I'll do that stuff, okay?
How far up do I stay?
Just wherever's comfortable, babe. There's a big difference between going from a 90-kilo guy into the front and obviously less than half the weight up the front. I had to get Sarah all the way over the bow. Eventually we made it onto the plane and she was up the front, swinging like a champ. Okay, now hang right off the front. Hang right off the front. That's it, good. Good, come back.
When the boat took off and I was up the front and he asked me to lean over and we're going from side to side, I must say it was quite exciting.
How's that? Hey? Is that awesome?
We knew you had it in you, Sarah. Now it's Rob's turn, and just in time for Carnage Corner.
When I got asked to jump and go through the course, I was a little bit hesitant, I got to admit. I was a bit concerned.
Here we go. All right, come down the back, Dad. Come right down the back. That's it, just sit there. Running Dad up through Kylie's, that's the most epic part of the track. I could see the smile on his face every time he turned around. I reckon I could see it through the back of his head. I know he was loving it, but he had no idea what was about to come up. Okay, keep your head down, head down. That's it, just keep your head down. Left, down left.
Well, when you're going so fast with so many obstacles and Justin telling you to jump left or jump right, there's an element of a lot of responsibility, because if I was doing something wrong, we could get up in all sorts of drama.
That's it, now real hard right. Swing hard right. I really can't believe it. The first time that Dad's been through Carnage Corner as a swinger, he didn't even come off the plane. Cavitation was minimum. He'd done an unbelievable job. And to be honest, I'd have him up the front with me anytime. Well done, Rob. Woo-hoo! That's Carnage.
That's awesome.
Is that awesome or what?
Oh, that's awesome. Now that I actually done it and enjoyed it so much, I wouldn't hesitate to actually be a swinger on a boat.
The day is coming to an end, and the crew enjoys the last of the sunlight from the deck of the houseboat. They'd better soak it all in now, because the mayhem of racing starts tomorrow. And if last year is any indication, things are about to get wild. Next time on Patriot Games. Team Patriot is back at the Renmark Dinghy Derby, and today marks the first race, the Dash for Cash. After changing their engine class, the crew is hoping that this year's performance will be better than the last. But in the racing world, fate has other plans, and anything that can go wrong will go wrong.